Hey guys, here we are with SBS reporting on the Australian government's new anti-hate speech laws and their new gun control reform that they're trying to push through as rapidly as possible, using the Bondi tragedy as justification. Not to politicize this too heavily, but as you can see, they're already trying to do so by putting a Zionist flag over here in the very first frame, which is quite disappointing, but not all that surprising given that Murdoch is a Zionist. So let's continue and watch and see what they have to say.
The horrors that occurred in Bondi will be etched in Australian history.
Actually, really quickly before we go any further, isn't it weird how we haven't heard a single peep out of the guy? Like the one that actually did all the shooting and the killing. Like you'd think if he was a real anti-Semite crazy person that just wanted to kill Jews for the sake of killing Jews, that even when he was caught, he would spout out a lot about it. But actually, they've just kept him quiet. You know, they haven't let him talk to anybody, and they report that it's anti-Semitic. They report that it's crazy. They report that it was, you know, had something to do with Palestine, but it absolutely did not. It's just weird. Anyway, let's continue.
A response to it now to be etched in Australian law. Last night, as the community gathered to grieve, the federal government today poised to act, bringing parliamentarians to Canberra 2 weeks early for 2 days.
Just as anti-Semitism and racism are an offence against our Australian values, they should be an offence against Australian law.
I agree. We should cut ties with the internationally recognised terrorist state of Israel immediately and end the AUKUS deal while we're at it.
Next Monday, we'll start with condolences for the loved ones of victims from all sides of politics. Then a new package of law reform will be introduced, which would include creating serious offences for hate preachers and leaders seeking to radicalise children, giving the Home Affairs Minister power to cancel or refuse visas for people who spread hatred, as well as allowing the creation of a list of prohibited hate groups, a lower threshold than the current terror group listing.
And who decides what's considered hate? If I say Zionists are committing a genocide in Gaza, is that hate? No, that's a fact. But they'll call it hate, and they'll arrest us anyway, because it's oppression.
There has been a lot of consultation already, not just with the Jewish community, but with other communities as well.
Once these laws are passed, they will be the toughest hate laws Australia has ever seen.
The opposition briefed on the bill's detail this afternoon before it gets publicly released tomorrow.
We don't want this to be a take it or leave it proposition where the government table laws and we're left with the option of either supporting it or rejecting it.
Yeah, so they are doing all in their power to take away your free speech. Can't wait to see the second half of this news report.
Another part of the law reform, setting up a national gun buyback scheme, a measure supported by the New South Wales government, as the state premier announces new, more local measures of his own.
We need to fight hate speech where we see it in our communities, but also where we don't see it behind closed doors.
So this guy is a Zionist supporter, as you can see here. He egregiously supports Israel with their crimes and thinks they're doing nothing wrong in their oppression of the Palestinian people. Know who you support.
Under new rules, if a council finds a public place of worship is operating without lawful planning approval, it can issue a notice to shut it down. If the prayer centre continues, a council can cut off its utilities like water and power. Penalties for those who don't comply will also be strengthened.
Obey or else.
The simple question that will be applied by the council is, are you operating legally or not? Straightforward.
Yeah, but he decides what's legal and what's not. And anything he likes is legal, and anything he doesn't like is illegal.
The crackdown inspired by Canterbury Bankstown Council's move to shut down Al Madina Dawah Centre last month, which was run by fringe Islamic preacher Wissam Haddad. He denies any links to one of the alleged Bondi gunmen.
Then why bring it up? Why add that to the news report? That's just to make people feel scared. That's not nice reporting.
Chris Minns says there's more action to come. That includes on hate speech. Submissions are due today on which slogans should be banned. Private hearings will then be held with a report due by the end of the month.
What's the bet from the river to the sea and Free Palestine is going to be on that list? Zionist pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing so they can keep oppressing the people. manipulating and lying their way through us all.
The state and federal push, they say, will tackle hate. It will also test the country's social cohesion. Rayanne Tamer, SBS World News.
I hate the term social cohesion. And when people say that, they mean that they want us to go back to letting them murder children. They want us to go back to letting them oppress the Palestinian people, because we used to let them do it, because we didn't know any better. We didn't know it was happening. Now we've got mass communication. Now we can do something. Now we know it's not left and right. It's up and down. And anyone who does that to children has no business being in charge.